Hello there, welcome to What the Flick. Christy, Matt, Tara McNamara at the end. And where we can find you at many places, including
at Zero Word Review.
Yeah.
And 80smovie.com, which is a brand new site, so be kind, because I'm still loading in lots of information, but I'd love to get your opinions.
Yes, 80smovieguide.com, yes? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're gonna do a big old spoiler section. Somewhere down here it's gonna say spoiler.
Yes.
Or on the shot of all of us.
Right. So
spoilers.
Right. Spoilers. Look, if you haven't seen this movie and you don't want to know what's going on, why are you watching this?
Why are you here?
You've been warned. You've also been warned that if you go to adamtickets.com, we've partnered with them. You can enter the code WTF5 when you check out, and first-time users will get $5 off any ticket or a ticket. First, $5 off your purchase. To be clear, might as well buy them for Avengers, right?
Right. And it's a movie
this is good.
You're gonna want to see, and we're gonna start spoiling. This is your last chance to get out. This is your last chance to click away and go for a walk around the block.
Right.
All right. Everybody dies.
Not everybody.
And not really.
No.
Because there's absolutely no way that the people who die can really have died, because there's a third Guardians movie and a second Spider-Man coming.
Well,
and people have to
but
live.
Hang on. If we wanted to be really ruthless about
Let's
it,
do.
many people. There's been, there's the Miles Morales who's taken on the Spider-Man mantle. Guardians of the Galaxy can have different people come in as the Guardians team, same as the Avengers. Like, different people come into these teams. It's like the Lakers that are playing now, not the Lakers that were playing in the 80s.
Right. But,
totally different crew.
Okay, so
but they're
what
still
you're
Lakers.
saying is that what we saw earlier was the Kareem version of the Avengers.
I mean, honestly, like at some point in the
it?
comics, Shuri takes over as Black Panther. So
But so soon. I mean, that's the thing. When Black Panther flutters away into the distance, and everybody in the audience just goes, because you're like, and I'm thinking from Disney and Marvel's point of view, that's your cash cow. Did they do that before they knew that it was going to be bringing in billions of dollars?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Like, we'll go through the list, right?
Who all dies?
Yeah, I mean, in order, not necessarily in order.
I can't remember in order because there's so many of them. It's
well,
a blur.
okay, so who is it? Is it
Spider-Man dies?
Okay,
that's the most emotional
hang on, I'm
one.
trying to stay in order,
I'm sorry.
right? Like,
I can't remember in order.
So Loki gets it first,
right? Which I don't know if I trust, because Loki's died before.
Right.
I mean, he really looked dead. His eyes were rolled back in his head.
Right. So
but he can just shapeshift.
He's magical.
So Loki gets it. We see not Baldur. Idris Elba's character gets it. Right. We see him get killed.
He might be dead.
We see Gamora get killed.
Gamora can't be dead.
Right. We're pretty sure that the Collector is dead.
That makes that's
right.
Okay.
Benicio del
He can
Toro's
die,
character.
that's all right.
We're pretty sure.
Okay.
Those are the ones we see like get their own individual, like, drive the story forward deaths.
But they're not like the fluttering away of the Thanos.
So the story of this movie is that Thanos, as we mentioned, is trying to put together the Infinity Gauntlet. He's put together he's had this dwarf build this gauntlet that he can wield all of the Infinity Stones. And that will give him the ability to rewrite reality. He can snap his fingers and wipe out half the population of the universe, which he thinks he needs to do because he is the worst environmentalist of all time.
He's got big ideas.
Right, and so the plot of the movie is the Avengers, because he's coming to Earth to get a couple of the stones, the plot is the Avengers and everybody is trying to stop him. And they don't.
Right, they don't. They succeed for a while.
But he succeeds.
Yeah.
And
or it appears that he does.
So you see him snap his fingers, and at the end of the movie, he disappears, and then you start seeing people kind of turn to ash and disappear, right? And that becomes a lot of characters. Black Panther and Falcon and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and Star-Lord and Drax and Groot and who else?
Teenage Groot.
And the Spider-Man disappearing is very emotional, right?
And the Scarlet Witch one, because I love
Scarlet
Elizabeth
Witch, right?
has a much bigger role in this, which I
Vision
love.
gets
great.
killed. He doesn't disappear. Scarlet Witch does disappear. Bucky disappears, and you see Steve watch Bucky disappear.
His best friend,
it's crazy to see Black Panther had disappeared. And then in the stinger, the very end Easter egg, we see Maria Hill disappear and
Nick Fury.
And Nick Fury right after he hits the little thing, which is the teaser for Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Right? So amongst the problems, amongst the frustrations is yes, it's a bold move, I think, that they go for the kind of Empire Strikes Back bummer ending, like, oh my God, the villain won. But before that happens, you see there's a moment where they're trying to destroy the stone that's on Vision's head, right?
Yes, the Mind Stone.
And Scarlet Witch does. But the problem is that Thanos has the Time Stone, and so he just rewinds and gets it, right? So you kind of know if you've watched these movies, and especially because it's such a big plot in Doctor Strange, you're like, yeah, well, Thanos can kind of just dial things back whenever he wants.
If he wants,
if he wants to.
But he's diabolical, so why would he do that?
But he needs to do that to get the stone to get to what he's getting to, right? So you know that even in that temporary victory, it's going to get kind of offset because Thanos is like, yeah, good job, but it doesn't count. Like, do over.
Are there any other of the Avengers superheroes who can turn back time? I mean, do we have a Superman version?
Right, who can go, go back around the earth backward again. Yeah.
I mean, not that we know of, but it kind of depends on what's in the script, right? The other issue though is that, and this is kind of the old joke, nobody in the comics ever stays dead, right? The only people that ever stay dead are Bruce Wayne's parents, and Spider-Man's Uncle Ben, and Spider-Man's Uncle Ben, because those are key to why those characters become the heroes that they are.
Because they're motivated by the deaths.
They're motivated by those deaths, and so, the other problem is that the movie says, okay, well, with this gauntlet, I can kind of do whatever I want. So, okay, obviously the second movie is somebody going after the gauntlet. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to snap too, and everybody's back. Like,
so they're having their cake and eating it too. They want like the power of that shock. I mean, I was truly shocked when it ended. Like when it went to the credits, I'm like, wow, like they went there with that, and that's amazing, and I really appreciated that. Then I took a second thought, and I'm like, but it can't be true because we have more movies coming, and yeah, I guess so. That sort of takes the actual bite out of that. Really shocking.
Unless you're a child. If you're a child, you're devastated, Right.
I kind of think though, because Tate and Nick are around the same age. Nick's 8.5. I think they're so smart by now. They know what's movie marketing and what's bullshit and what's actually real. So I kind of feel like even that age, they're going to know better and they're going to go, oh, but there's more movies coming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like,
we live in a cynical world.
There's a lot of Avengers movies, Tate. They're on the way. I'm sure something's going to happen and they're going to come back. But I mean, it's still such a gut punch to deliver. But I will tell you this, like I hated Batman versus Superman. Hated it because they have Batman kill Superman, and I think these are
terrible.
And these are your child, but filmmakers who make movies that they fell in love with movie making because of Godzilla or because of Batman or because of Superman. And then when they grow up, then they make the movies for 40-year-olds instead of for kids. And I think that's unfair. And so to do that in Batman versus Superman, I thought was wildly unfair. I think this is a little different because in this case, you have, it was a villain and we have hope. So they didn't leave us with any hope at the end of Batman versus Superman. I mean, they had a little rumbling of the earth, but not really.
He can't really be dead.
Right.
So besides the fact that everyone dies or whatever, what else was surprising to you in this? Like, not everyone makes it into this.
Right.
Whether they make it out or not is another thing. But like, Ant-Man's not in it, Hawkeye's not in it, a lot of characters are not in it. I guess it's because there's only enough time in the day.
So by the end, we don't know if they're still alive. I mean, Ant-Man probably is because he's got a movie coming out. But I'm sure that movie won't reference any of this.
No?
Why?
Won't he know? Won't he know that his friends all died?
Maybe.
Right.
I think he would know.
You think so?
I mean, people are disappearing out of cars.
Maybe he's out of the loop.
It's like the Rapture. It is like the straight up Rapture.
Now, I mean, Hawkeye seems off, like he seems off the grid.
Yeah.
So maybe Hawkeye doesn't
He's
know.
not checking Twitter.
Right. But, speaking of the Rapture, like, I saw somebody on Twitter say that, okay, so maybe this is a shared universe with the leftovers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right? I thought, and the other thing that I need to go back and watch, this is one of the nerdier things I've ever said on this show. There's a scene where Nebula is looking at a screen after she, at one point, like she's gonna steal a ship and she's looking at a little electronic screen. And I could have sworn that the font on that screen is the same font you see in the Star Wars universe.
Oh.
Whoa.
And that font is called Arabesh.
Wow.
I am a super nerd.
Is that a sans serif font?
It is.
That is very good. So anything else that shocked you, that you loved, that you hated, that we can talk about in the spoiler talk?
I mean, I just love that we really did a deep dive into Gamora and learned more about her and her motivations and the relationship with her father. I thought this was an interesting way to show this villain as, I mean, he's pure evil, but not.
No, he's
like he has his mission. I'm going to get rid of most of the life in the universe, because it's overpopulated, and he was, eliminating her planet, including her mother, and he saved her, and so he is. And he loves her, and and we learn he really loves her. We think he only loves himself. He really does love her.
And he shows her he loves her by throwing her off a cliff.
Yes, but that's how we know he loves her.
It's emotional. It's a complicated thing when you're Thanos.
I'm not here to defend Thanos, okay? But I'm just saying that I appreciate that they show the other side of a villain, and I don't think that we get to see their perspective and be able to understand in any way. And while it's not right and it's not okay, I just appreciate understanding his train of thought.
I like Chris Evans' hair in this movie a lot.
I like the whole
look.
thing.
Yeah, I'm not like a facial hair person ordinarily, but like his hair was spectacular.
I'm not
a
Chris Evans person normally.
Are
but
you not?
Yeah.
He looks really good in this. Yeah.
The thing that I was a little confused about is that I thought at the end of Civil War, they had kind of started their own, like he and Nat had kind of started their own Avengers, like this new version of the Avengers with Falcon and War Machine and Vision and Scarlet Witch, and they were at the Avengers compound. But then when we finally see them in this movie, they're on the run, and we're hearing from the general, Ross.
William Hurt.
William Hurt, who's now Secretary of State, like, oh yeah, if you guys show up, we're gonna arrest you. And it was like, well, wait, what happened in between that, like, where was that movie where they decided, oh no, we're back on the run, right? We missed that part.
Oh, but then it's all null and void anyway when Thanos shows up
and
because
War
they
Machine,
gotta save the world.
And War Machine wasn't in that new version of Avengers. He was still going through rehab, but yeah, like what happened with that team? Like how, didn't they already know where they were at that compound? But I guess not. That was unclear to me. Like there's some other plot that we got left out on.
Okay.
Well, maybe I just assumed I forgot, and maybe they figure everyone else will do that too.
Yeah.
It had not occurred to me at all.
And then,
I gave that no thought. Yeah.
Right. There were some great moments in it. I like when Thor gets picked up by the Guardians, and Drax has the man crush on Thor. That was hilarious, right?
And then Star-Lord feels jealous.
Right,
That's kind of cute, yeah.
When they're like, oh, he's just a man. And it's just some dude we picked up, and Drax says, no, you're a dude. This is a man. and then he gets increasingly kind of in awe. At one point he's like an angel crossed with a god or whatever.
Like a pirate mixed with
right?
an
Oh yeah,
angel.
he's like a pirate. And you hear this thing from Drax, you're like, whoa, Drax, okay.
No, that whole dynamic works. Like the fish out of water kind of nature of Thor with like the wackiness of the Guardians. Like that is funny. Doctor Strange and Iron Man and Spider-Man, they're all kind of like, quick-witted and verbal, and that all works for me, yeah.
Why not have a bisexual, superhero? Why not?
Why not? No, that's true. I'm trying to think if that's possible that anybody else is. I guess not.
How nerdy do you want to make this discussion?
Do you know?
Who's gay?
Well, so, okay.
Are we outing superheroes?
I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with this.
No, I'm just trying to think like, in this universe, we don't know, right? There's plenty of Marvel characters, and there's plenty of alternate universe Marvel characters. Like there's a whole thing at one point in some alternate universe where, I don't remember, maybe it was one of the X-Men spin-off comics that Wolverine and Hercules are a thing.
Whoa.
Yeah, right?
That's
right.
Hot, sexy fanfic. Yes. We spoiled a lot, I think.
There's pretty big hints, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's pretty big hints that they're not overt about it, but you come away from the last Thor movie that Valkyrie may have lost her lover, Valkyrie, when Hela attacked them. So that might be the one that's the most...
She's not in this.
Right, she's not.
No. I do like the interplay between Scarlet Witch and Black Widow, and I'm blanking on Okoye.
Okoye.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. They were all able to blend their forces.
I love Red Skull came back.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was shocking.
That was a surprise.
Yeah,
that was a big surprise. Well, because at the end of the first Captain America movie, like he gets sucked into the Tesseract, which ends up being that one particular stone. Yeah. And so, we see what happened to him.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I brought a friend's son with me, and when Red Skull shows up, he's like, "Oh my God, that's Red Skull!" So I guess that was one of the more shocking developments.
Yeah.
My 7-year-old knew Red Skull.
That was,
so he was
that
like, "That's Red Skull."
That was a big surprise.
Yeah. Anything else?
I thought Infinity Stone. I mean, it sounds like something K Jewelers is selling. I just think they could have done better on that name. But that was it. That's really my only
Mother's
complaint.
Day, to the woman who has everything, give her the Reality Stone. It's, again, I had a good time here and there. It is very long and very crammed. I realize I'm in the minority. People really love this movie. It's at 87% on the tomato meter. But yeah, it feels good to talk about the spoilers with you guys. Thank you for working through this with me.
We could finally get it out.
Because you don't want to, ruin it for anybody. I think I have to go see it again, though, this weekend. So maybe I'll feel differently.
Maybe.
I agree. I think this is a see again movie. There is so much that happens so fast that you can't possibly take it all in. So I do think it's a 2-time at least.
Yeah, I have to because Nick wants to, so I have no choice. But I will. Maybe I'll come back on Monday and go, I was totally wrong. Maybe I'll be. Maybe I won't. Anyway, so just to remind you, our numbers were 6.5 and 8 and 8.5 for an average of 7.7. It's 87% on the tomato meter. So let us know what you think once you've seen it. Bye.